When we're doing things for God, does that always mean it's going to be easy? Does that mean that all of the obstacles, all of the difficulties in life, everything is just going to go smoothly if God is with us while we're doing something for Him? Whether we're giving the gospel or doing some sort of ministry, whatever it might be, does it always mean things are going to be easy? Well, we know from the life of the Apostle Paul, just because he progressed with the gospel, he was able to plant churches and build up leaders, and then encourage and disciple those leaders and disciple the people in the church. Just because he's able to do those things and even write a lot of the New Testament doesn't mean that his life was always easy. Doesn't mean that all the obstacles just kind of flatlined and he didn't have any difficulty. Actually, he mentioned this to the Corinthians. He mentioned this about his traveling plans towards the end of 1 Corinthians here, 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 9. He says this towards the end, verses 8 and 9, sorry. But I will stay in Ephesus until Pentecost. And he says this, for a wide door for effective work has opened to me. And we know Paul was there for 3 years. We read that in the book of Acts. I mean, he had established elders in that church. He had done many great things there in Ephesus. That's probably one of the places where he stayed the longest. But 1 Corinthians 16:9 doesn't end right there. It doesn't end. I mean, we'd like that, for a wide door for effective work is open to me. But he says this too, and there are many adversaries. You can put it in a different context. There's some difficulty here. There are some people who are opposed and against the gospel. There are some people who are trying to stop me from doing my ministry. There are some people who are stopping me from being able to help out others, whatever it might be, in the name of Jesus Christ. There is difficulty. And I was thinking about, as I was looking over my message that I'm going to have this coming up Sunday, and just kind of thinking through it, that the Apostle Paul, when he was in Rome, for 2 years, he was chained to a guard 24/7, all the time, no privacy, no way to escape or whatnot. Not that he would do so, anyways. And most of us would see that as, this is just an obstacle. This is just a closed door. I have nothing I can do in this situation. But he didn't do that. He turned that obstacle into an opportunity. He used that situation while being chained to the Roman guards to witness to those Roman guards. And those Roman guards are part of the Praetorian Guard, the Imperial Guard, and they had access, to the Caesar's household and all of that. So this actually opened up a door for Paul, being in prison, to be able to witness to those who had high authority within the Roman world. And that wouldn't have been so unless he changed that obstacle into an opportunity, and he did it with joy. So I want to encourage you, just because it seems like something is shut or it's not going the way that I feel like it should go, or you may be going through whatever type of hurdle it might be. I know people who have gone and they've been hospitalized, and it is in that opportunity that they were able to witness to doctors, to nurses, to other patients, and so forth. They wouldn't have had that opportunity unless they were hospitalized. So just because we go through difficulty, just because we go through challenges, those difficulties, those challenges can be used for God's glory based on our outlook. Is God in this? And based on if we are viewing it with joy in our heart, That is the evidence of the presence of God. God, you can do great things through this obstacle that I'm going through. So remember the words of the Apostle Paul. But I will stay in Ephesus until Pentecost, for a wide door for effective work has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. Again, just because you have an open door doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. But go through that door and do it with the joy of the Lord. Well, thank you for joining me.